It's day 4 at the COP26, and today the theme for the discussions, energy.
In these sessions, government ministers and experts are trying to balance the energy industry, which has for years been an economic driver for countries to extract and export oil, with a call for action to reduce the use of fossil fuels to mitigate the challenges of climate change. There are obvious concerns about the survival of economies.
Well, energy has always been an economic driver for us. It touches every life, touches every industry. Climate does the same thing. Touches every life, touches every industry. And we recognize it's very important for the two to have a conversation. A conversation that is sustainable, a conversation that is effectively going to be transformative. A conversation that is required for the energy transition. Countries are looking at mitigation strategies, but we recognize mitigation and adaptation need to be twinned. Twinned in such a way that we have to have the energy personnel and climate personnel having the conversation in the same room at the same time.
And so while there is a push for greener energy sources, like the use of electric buses and solar-powered technology, these recommended transitions are not without costs and may not be applicable to individual countries.
We have to change our business models. It's not business as usual. And we are adapting. We as humans, we know how to innovate. And we should push the envelope. We're a global village, but in every global village, or anything that is a whole, you have to look at the granular level. So you have to understand the local context. Not all shoes fits all, right? Not all size fits all. So you have to look at your local context. So even from a country like Belize to Jamaica to Barbados, we all have our differences and there's no silver bullet. But we always have to look at the local context and customize to optimize to drive the transition.
Energy is not one of the contentious issues in the broader Conference of the Parties. It is part of the presidency agenda, which outlines key discussions on transitioning to support the reduction of GHG emissions. As a country, Belize has been dependent on energy from neighboring Mexico through the Comisión Federal de Electricidad, CFE. But as we found out from CEO Dr. Kenrick Williams of the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Climate Change and Disaster Risk Management, Belize's readjusted national determined contributions is taking into consideration a shift to greener energy.
No, for Belize, just like any other country, we have to be part of the process. We have to do our part in terms of the emission reductions. So while we're on a net carbon sink, we still have things that we can do in terms of particular energy and transport sector that can help to reduce emissions. So for example, we can look at things like, or we've committed as a country within our NDCs, or nationally determined contributions, to reduce our energy, to transition to renewable energy by 75%, to reduce emissions within the power sector, for example. And in doing so, we seek to increase the efficiency of our grid. We seek to strengthen our transport system in terms of transition to electric powered transport system. So these things will help us in terms of reducing our emissions.
The hope is that the transition to greener energy will present economic opportunities similar to carbon credits for countries like Belize.
But as part of our broader commitments and part of the direction, it is to move towards independent energy source, clean energy source. So for example, when looking at our renewable mix, we have looking at hydropower, looking at solar, looking at biomass. So things like our cogeneration plant, how do we strengthen and improve the efficiency within that system? There's certain research being done to look at opportunities for increasing the type of electric outputs, energy outputs, of our cogeneration and stuff like that. I mean, in addition to this discussion on where we're going to see reduce energy and reduce emissions as a result of improved the green energy mix, if you will, we think that there are important financial opportunities that exist in this transition for Belize.
Reporting from COP26, Glasgow, Scotland, Duane Moody for News 5.